Hello and welcome to another video from Natasha Lee. Now, I've not been taking care of my nails and I fancied a change, so after 5 weeks of not doing them, I'm going to take them from this to this. I thought for a new year we'd have some new nails, and despite the fact that I've had long nails for about 3 years, I am loving these. Like I said, I haven't done my nails for about 5 weeks, so I'm planning on cutting them off to about here. So this gives you an idea of how much I'm going to take them down. And yes, I did feel a little bit sick when I was doing this. And yes, I know there's far more important things in the world, but when you're cutting off quite literally a part of your body that you've had attached to you for like 3 years, it's a little bit of a shock. This one took some serious impact and actually snapped clean off, and you can see the fracture marks across the nail. And that is because I left them too long without doing them, so I will need to do a slight build up on that nail to bring it in line with the others. But don't they look sad? Oh gosh, it's mortifying, and there's some gloss paint, but look at that little one there. I'm going to be using my absolute favourite Efile or nail drill, which is the K38 cordless nail drill from Sayang, and this is from Taft's Products. And there's a link in the description with a discount code if you want to find out where to buy it. I'm also going to be using my safety bit, and this has got a rounded end so it doesn't cause any damage to your skin if used properly. I'm going to begin with my index finger, and as you can see, I've got my Efile on quite a low speed. This is on about 7 or 8. And I'm just going carefully around the bottom of my enhancement. Now, I have still been wearing my favourite polygel enhancements since I actually did the polygel video, and I haven't swapped to another product, but I am going to try something different today. As you can see, I'm going very, very lightly here. We don't want to touch the natural nail with your Efile bit or your drill bit. And then I'm just going to go down the sides of the nails. Now, the key thing when you're using Efiles is to be very careful. I do recommend that you do a course if you want to use them. You can do a lot of damage with these if you don't know what you're doing. Also, even if you have done a course, it's worth remembering if you're new to keep that Efile moving, because if it stays in the same position for too long, you will get a heat transfer through the nail, and that is not a nice experience. I like to start around the base of the nail or the cuticle area of the nail, as I have done here, and then do each of the sides. You can see when you're working on yourself, it's worth doing balance point precisioning with your little finger, and that's to make sure you don't slip when you're using your Efile, because even with a safety bit, you could do yourself some damage. Once I've gone down both sides and the base of the nail, I've sped this up. This is ×4 speed now, and I'm just going to take that centerpiece off the nail. Now, it doesn't matter how neat and tidy I do this really, my key thing is protecting the natural nail, because all I am doing here is trying to reduce the bulk of the nail. And I'm just using my Divine by Natasha Lee fan brush to remove the excess dust. So I'm looking at taking the nail down to about this length here. So we need to remove all of this bulk on the top of the nail, and I'm removing this product completely. Now, as it is a permanent enhancement, I will have to completely remove this with a file or an Efile. I will speed some of these bits up for you, otherwise it does get boring, but just to give you an idea how I remove the bulk, you can see I watch my nail from the side to make sure I'm not going down too far, and just go from side to side, removing that excess product. You can actually see how much they've grown out looking from this side because my apex has moved so far down the nail. But you can see that this Efile is making short work of this. And with it being polygel, you can see that the dust is very dense when it comes off, which is really great because it's not going up into the air and you're not going to be breathing it in as much. When you think you're getting close towards the centre of the nail, do clean it off and have a look. And you can see here where I did have some lifting and some sort of damage underneath because they've taken some serious bangs whilst I've been decorating and not rebalancing them. It is not good for your nails to have them done and not have them rebalanced every 2 to 3 weeks. And it's 3 weeks at a push really. It depends how quickly your nails grow. So now, to be very careful on the natural nail, I am actually got this drill on an incredibly low speed. This is on about 2 or a 3, and I'm very, very lightly almost dusting it over the nail to take off the last remnants of the polygel. You don't have to get all of it off, we can do that by hand, and I'm going to do that with my Divine by Natasha Lee quartz file. And this is a 240 1200, so I'm very lightly going over with the 240 bit first, and because it's a lovely padded file, as you can see from the side, if you hold it loosely, you won't be digging into that nail. We're just trying to brush over that nail very lightly to remove any excess product. Look how long those nails are underneath, that is unbelievable. It looks a bit weird, and they're quite strong. So from the side you can see what the difference is now we've removed that product. And so we're going to take them off now to about here. So I'm going to start with my Topaz 240 nail file, and links to all of these products are in the description down below. Now just to say, I'm taking this file on an angle. I don't want these nails completely square, I want them sort of squoval. So by taking the nail file on this angle, I can file it and get that beautiful soft rounding but with the straight edges. And then I'm going to take off those sharp corners because I don't want them there basically. And it's just going to take a couple of minutes just to refine the shape into something that we're really happy with, because obviously these nails are almost trained when they grow for this long with these products on them. I'm just going to straighten up those side walls a little bit and back and forth to make sure I'm really happy with that shape. And when you have a high quality grit nail file like the Topaz, then you can actually go back and forth with the nail file because it won't cause any damage to the nail. I've removed the excess product on the other nails for you to see and then filed them down with exactly the same routine. Don't they look strange? You can even see these have got so long that I've got a few splinter hemorrhages there, which is those little black lines. It's that they've taken a knock and hurt. So to measure the nails, I find this way is the easiest when you're taking them down significantly on natural nails. It's just a good way to get a judge because I'm not used to working on shorter nails now. Although saying that, in the past these would have been my version of wow long nails. So now we're on to our manicure. So I am using my favourite cuticle remover, and that is the Essie's Cuticle Peel. I'm just applying it all around the base of that nail, and then I'm going to spread it out in just a moment and leave it to work. So using my cuticle hoof pusher and curette from my own brand Divine by Natasha Lee, I'm very gently spreading that over the whole nail. Now the reason I'm showing you my products is I brought them out for this very reason. My absolute favourite products I wanted to perfect and bring them to you, and that's what I've done with this range. Very, very gently with this cuticle hoof. You can see I am not pushing at all because it is so effective. This is more a gentle thing to just remove closely that cuticle, and look at that white fluffiness. That's your cuticle coming off because the gel is clear, so any white fluffiness in it you can see is your cuticle. And cuticle is non-living tissue, which means it's basically dead skin stuck to the top of the nail. Then I'm going to turn it around on my tiny little curette end. Look at that. And all that gunk I'm getting on the end of it from around the cuticle area is my cuticle. You can see I'm being very gentle to the skin naturally around the nail. You do not want to be forcing it back or jamming anything underneath it. Then taking my Amber 240 buffing block, and these are fantastic for using on natural nails and over gels and enhancements, and going to lightly buff over that nail just to remove the shine on the surface, ready for the next step. When I'm happy with that, I'm going to brush off the excess dust off the nails, ready to cleanse them. And I'm just using a standard manicure nail brush for this, and then also just go underneath if you need to remove any dust. Then taking some 99% isopropyl alcohol on a plastic back pad, I'm removing any excess dust or surface contaminants and greases from the nails. And I'm actually surprised how good these are looking after so long of wearing enhancements, and then 5 weeks of not taking care of them. I was expecting a lot worse when I removed my polygel, to be honest with you. And you can see how much better they look just for a manicure. So next I'm going to do something which I just prefer to do, and I like to use the Gelish pH bond and apply that to my nails, and it's a dehydrator. Be careful to make sure you don't get it on the skin around the nails, just apply it to the nail and the free edge at the end of the nail. Now I do always use this nowadays when I do any enhancements or gel polish on my friends, etc. and that's because I want to make sure that that product really adheres. And I do find it makes a difference with products lasting a bit longer. And when that's dried, you're ready to go on to your next step, and that is that I like to apply my Pro Bond. And again, this is from Hand & Nail Harmony. And I normally apply this under enhancement products only, really, and that's just again for a really good adhesion. I've used a few different primers and dehydrators, and these two are my absolute favourites. You can see it gives a nice shine to the nail, ready for that product to go on top. And I'm just applying that carefully to make sure it only goes on the nail and the free edge around the nail. And you can see on that one how damaged it looks, bless it. It doesn't look like a happy bunny. Now I'm going to take a nail form and just remove the centrepiece and apply it to the back, and that's for stability. We're going to need to build up that middle finger of mine to be in line with the rest. So I like to get hold of each side and just roll them between my thumbs to give a nice bend ready. When you apply your forms, it does take practice, and practice does make perfect, and you will become really quick at doing it, but make sure it's right under that free edge. And if need be, cut each side of the nail form to get a really snug fit. I've got a bit more on this on a video on the top right corner of the screen right now. Make sure you're really happy with the fit of that nail form before you stick it to the finger, and make sure there's no gaps between the nail and the top of the nail form. Try not to knock the form when it's on the finger, because it's really frustrating if you do that after you've spent so long getting it into the right place. And now I'm going to apply a base coat, and I'm going to give this trial to some Soak Off Builder Gel. And if you want to know more about what gel it is and how to apply it, I will be doing a much more detailed video next week, but I'm going to skip over this a little bit for you. And you can see that this is a sort of cover pink that I'm using. I've picked this one. There are lots of different colours, but this one I preferred for being the closest to my natural nail bed colour. I'm beginning by just applying a nice thin, even layer over the whole nail. And first I'd applied my base coat, then cured, before I went in over the top with the Builder Gel. And we can use this to create nails like you will see on this nail here, where I'm going to go on the end of the nail and bring it up to the length of the other nails. Again, if you want to see this in more detail with more information and hints and tips, then I will be showing you it next Saturday, so stay tuned and set your reminders to make sure you don't miss it. I am loving the colour of this gel. If you do need to clean up, you can use my clean up brush. I love this brush. It is probably one of my most popular products in my shop, and it is unbelievably effective. Once that's cured and you're happy, remove your nail form, and then we're going to file it into shape. I like to start with the free edge and then going down those side walls before I create my shape. So I normally do free edge, side walls, cuticle, TV control, and it's sort of like a horseshoe effect. If you want to know all this in much more detail, then I do have a video that is dedicated just to filing enhancements, and there is a link in the top right corner or in the video description. What I've done here is remove the sticky layer after curing my build gel, and then I'm going in with my files and finishing off with this lovely buffer block, which is one of my favourites because it's so beautifully smooth and effective. I'm just going to keep working on that shape till I'm really happy with it, and it actually doesn't take long. This gel files really, really nicely. It does feel very, very weird having such short nails though already. It's so weird that I can feel the tips of my fingers. They're like touching stuff. You will only know what I mean if you've ever had really long nails and broken one. It's a very surreal feeling. So that's my finished look, ready to apply my nail design. And I'm just brushing off the excess dust here and making sure I get any excess product from underneath the nails as well, before I'm going to cleanse in just a moment. And then I'm cleansing with my 99% isopropyl alcohol, and you can see what a beautiful match this colour is for my natural nail colour. I love this nude, it is gorgeous. If you want to know what colour it is, then it will be in my video next week for you to find out all about it. And don't forget to clean under the free edge of the nails to remove any dust as well, because that's how we can build up and develop reactions and allergies, as you will see in my allergy video. And here are my nails ready for the design. I love them how they are though. I was so tempted to leave them, but I wanted some bling. So I gave them a good cleanse, and then I'm going in with Gel 2 American French Pink, which is effectively like a clear. What we really want here is a clear gel polish with a sticky layer. You can do this with normal nail polish if you want to. I have lots of videos that cover how to apply glitter onto normal nail polish, including the video that's in the top right corner now. Apply a nice even layer over the whole nail. Now this American French Pink is almost completely clear, but there is a slightest hint of blush to it. Once you're happy, cure it in your lamp. And then I'm going to take Serious Nail Glitter from my own range, designed by Natasha Lee, which is a mix-sized, amazing holo. And using my NL4 glitter application brush, I'm just picking some up on the brush and applying it to the tip of the nail. Now I have spoken about this before, but with your glitter brushes, the longer you use them, the better they get. So you want to train your brush to become really fluffy at the end. And when it gets super fluffy and fuzzy, that's when it's perfect for glitter. Once you've applied it to the tip, just turn your brush around and brush lightly up towards your cuticle area on your nail to create a graduated effect. This is beautiful and wintry, although I've had so many brides when I used to have my salon choose this design. Just pat on the glitter to fill in any gaps, and because it's a multi-sized glitter with 2 different sizes and one is ultra fine, it will fill in the gaps in between the bigger flakes. Once you're really happy with that finished look there, just pat down and make sure you do the same on all of the nails. Look at the holo. Look at it, you can see the really fine tiny flakes in between the slightly larger ones there, which when I say larger, they are still ultra fine nail glitter flakes. And this is what all the nails look like before we apply our top coats, and how sparkly are they? Now I always keep one top coat for going immediately over glitter, so that's why you'll see glitter in that top coat already. And that's to stop me destroying another top coat that I might want to use over creams, but I do always give this brush a wipe off before I put it back into the bottle. When you're happy and you've capped that free edge, cure in your lamp. Then we're going to go in with our second layer of top coat, and this layer of top coat is my normal top coat that I use over my normal colours, so it's not my glitter top coat per se. Apply a nice even layer, and the reason we do 2 over glitters is to get it super smooth and high shine glossy, which you can see has worked perfectly. Cure that in your lamp, and then we're going to go in with a homemade cuticle oil. Apply that around the nail, and if you want to know more about this video on how to make your own cuticle oil, there's a link in the top right corner as well as in the description to watch my video. Massage in to get a lovely moisturised skin around that nail. And here are the finished nails. What a transformation! And I love this glitter so much. Serious is stunning. Look at the sparkle and the holo. It's so gorgeous, and it's such a versatile design. I've gone for this because I did want absolute super bling, but also something quite elegant and would go with any colour that I wore, and this really does. I love the effect of the flesh tone of that cover gel underneath as well. It just makes me feel a little less self-conscious after just removing my permanent gels. But let me know what you think about these nails, and what do you think about me with short nails? It's been such a long time since I've had short nails. It's a very strange feeling. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you so much for your patience over the Christmas period and the New Year period when I've been away. But don't worry everyone, I'm back, and I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. And in the meantime, why not check out some of my other videos up on the screen now.